Alex Webster looking on. Time running out. 6 minutes and 47 seconds remain. Cowboys run first down. Danny Reeves with the football. Again, great blocking out in front of Danny Reeves. And would you believe he fumbled the football? I don't believe it.
I don't either.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below, maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you all. Well, it's the video. No, it's not misleading. I'm not going over like the top 7 draft picks of all time for the Giants. It's a little article I saw. I'll leave a link in the description box. What it does is, because we're picking 5 and 7. So in the article, it brings up, all the picks that the Giants, they've had 21. So this year, unless we trade out of picks 5 and 7, after this year's draft, we'll have picked 23 players in the top 7. Pick 1 in the draft, pick 2 in the draft, and we've had picks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've had them all. All right, so so far we've had 21. All right, and it just goes over all 21 that the Giants have had in their history. 2 of them out of the 21, so it's not real super spectacular numbers. 2 of them have gone into the Hall of Fame. That's not really good, but as I'll explain in a little bit, it's even worse than that. But we'll just start off. We've had the number 1 overall pick 2 times. All right, the first time was Kyle Rote, 1951. He played with He was at SMU. Phenomenal. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. He's not in the Professional Football Hall of Fame. You can make cases either way for him. But fantastic player at SMU. He played for the Giants from 1951 to 1961. He was in 4 championship games. We won 1 of them. 1956, we beat the Bears 47-7. Then he was in championship games in 1958, 59, and 61. 1961 NFL championship game was his last game ever, and we lost 37-0 to the Packers. But he was a very good overall pick for the Giants. He played, I think it was in his second season, I think he switched over to wide receiver because I think it was a knee injury he had that hindered him from playing running back. All right, so but when he moved out, he was a very good wide receiver. I mean, you got to remember the numbers that they had back then compared to the numbers they have nowadays. It's it's totally different because the game is a little bit different. But he was a very good pick for the Giants. You can't complain there. The next time we had the next time and the only other time the Giants have ever had the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft was Tucker Frederickson. All right, 1965 out of Auburn. He played from 1965 to 1971 for the Giants. He had problems, injuries, like knee. I think he had a hamstring problem one time. He had some problems, and after the 71 season, he just had to hang it up. He was a decent running back. One of the better years he had was in 1970. We had Fran Tarkenton. We had Tucker Frederickson. We had Ron Johnson in the backfield, who we just got from the Cleveland Browns. We had a nice backfield. Ron Johnson could run the ball. He could catch the ball. Tucker Frederickson could catch the ball. He was a nice runner. He wasn't breakaway speed or not. He was a good running back. And the Giants in 1970 were 9-5. But it was it's a shame. The Giants in 1965. Dick Butkus was picked at the number 3, and Gale Sayers was picked number 4. The Giants could have had either one of those Hall of Famers, but they took Tucker Frederickson. And just show you how things have changed in the Actually, in the 1965 draft, the first round, there was 14 teams. First round, there was 6 running backs taken. And just also got to show you, in 1965 draft, the first 4 picks, 3 of them were running backs. Ken Willard from the 49ers was taken number 2. Gale Sayers was taken number 4, and Tucker Fredrickson was taken number 1. So he was an all right pick, but I mean there was Hall of Famers behind him that the Giants could have had that they didn't take. So then we got Skippy Minise in 1948. He was taken number 2 overall by the Giants in 1948. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. I drafted out of Penn. All right, he played 1 season, 1948. He ran the ball. It was 36 times for 160 yards. He caught 13 receptions for 123 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Then he retired to attend the University of Penn's law school, where he became a lawyer for over 40 years. So I mean, he had, I guess, I don't know. Things were different back then, guys. I mean, just because you played football, it wasn't, it was maybe nice and all that, but it's not like it is today. So he played 1 year, and that was enough for Skippy Minise. Then of course, we had some dude named Lawrence Taylor taken out of North Carolina in 1981. I don't think we have to go over much of him. I mean, the greatest defensive player of all time, bar none. I mean, you got like Aaron Donald and stuff. I mean, Aaron Donald is absolutely phenomenal. But Aaron Donald's like the line of scrimmage. Lawrence Taylor goes over the line of scrimmage. Lawrence Taylor goes from sideline to sideline. Lawrence Taylor will track you down 30, 40, 50 yards downfield. Aaron Donald ain't doing that. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I said all the other phenomenal. As I said, maybe from tackle to tackle, Aaron Donald might be but I mean, Lawrence Taylor took drugs. Lawrence Taylor never lifted weights. Right? If Aaron Donald took drugs and never lifted weights, Aaron Donald would not be what he was. Could you imagine if Lawrence Taylor took care of his body and actually lifted weights, what he could possibly have done out on the field? Oh my God, he'd be ripping people's heads off. Holy crap. Lawrence Taylor, 1981 out of North Carolina, the greatest defensive player. Period. End of story. Then we took Saquon Barkley, the pick number 2 overall in the 2018 draft out of Penn State. Phenomenal talent. Maybe bad luck on bad teams, bad offensive lines, bad play calling, injuries. I mean, just because you're great talent and you come in the NFL doesn't mean it's always going to be roses and sunshine. I mean, it's the way it goes. I mean, maybe he'll get on a better team. Maybe he'll have a few good years ahead of him or something like that. But I can't say he's a bust. I mean, on a bad team, you get injured. Yeah, he's still a phenomenal talent. Would I have taken him at number 2? No. I mean, we had Quentin Nelson, I probably would have taken. Yeah, but anyway, then we go to picks number 3. We had pick number 3 2 different times. First time was in 1974. We took John Hicks out of Ohio State. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. He's the Outland Trophy winner in 1973. In fact, the Giants, I think they're the only team in NFL history. We took 3 consecutive Outland Trophy wins. It was like interior linemen. Okay, the best in the country, and the best in college football. We took 3 of them in a row. Larry Jacobson won it in 1971. We drafted him. Rich Glover won it from Larry Jacobson from Nebraska won it in 1971. Rich Glover from Nebraska won it in 1972. And then John Hicks from Ohio State won in 1973. Giants drafted all 3 of those guys in consecutive years. So, John Hicks, I mean, he was nice. He was a nice player. He only played 4 years for the Giants, 1974, 75, 76, 77. He had injured himself, I think it was in Game 10 of 1977 season, and it seemed like he was kind of like dogging it, like he didn't want to come back and play, or he didn't play well, or something like that. I'm not sure if John McVay traded him to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So John Hicks got sent closer to home, all right, and because he lived out in Ohio, so Pittsburgh was close to Ohio. So he got traded to Pittsburgh, and I guess he never made the team. I mean, they were in the midst of that. That was the dynasty of the Steelers back then. So he played 4 seasons, traded to the Steelers, and never played ever again. So, I mean, it was a shame. He was, I guess, in a way, a small waste of a pick. I mean, we drafted him number 3 overall, and he played 4 seasons, period, in the NFL. It's not very good. The other time we had, this would be the last time we ever picked a linebacker in the first round of the draft. Carl Banks, 1984, picked number 3 overall, right, from Michigan State. He played from 84 to 92 with the Giants, and he played with the Redskins. That was odd looking. 1993. Yes, the Washington Redskins. Yes, I'm going to say that name. Oh, yeah. And then he finished up his career with Bill Belichick, who was coaching the Browns in 1994, 1995. Fantastic outside linebacker. It's a shame he's not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he set an edge. He set an edge. He was a good overall player. There was a couple times where John Madden, in particular, said that he was the best player on the field, and Harry Carson and Lawrence Taylor were also on the field at the same time, and John Madden went out of his way to say multiple times in the games that Carl Banks was the best player on the field. So that's saying something. So Carl Banks was a fantastic pick in 1984 at pick number 3. Then we had pick number 4 is Ed Whitseth, 1937, out of Minnesota. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame as well. He played 4 years for the Giants, 1937 and 1940. 1938, he was a Pro Bowler. He was a tackle. Right, he only played the 4 years, but before he was with the Giants, he was a 3-time first-team All-American from Minnesota, 1934 to 1936. So he was pretty special. But I mean, that's just the way it was back then. I mean, just because you got drafted high and you were a good player didn't necessarily mean you were going to be playing football for very long. And he only played 4 years, and that was it. That was the end of his career. Then we got Paul Page, 1949. All right, he played at SMU. He was pick number 4 for the Giants. His 4th pick overall in the NFL draft, 1949. Played at SMU. And for the Giants, he played picked him at number 4. And the Baltimore Colts also picked him. All right, so there's another one of those head scratchers. So the All-American Football Conference, the Baltimore Colts, there was from 46 to 49, all right, for 4 years, there was an All-American Football Conference, all right, and the Baltimore Colts were part of that. So Paul Page got picked at number 4 overall by the New York Giants, but he also got picked by the Baltimore Colts of the All-American Football Conference at pick number 81. For some reason, he decided to play for Baltimore for 1 season. He had 25 rushes for 81 yards. He caught 4 passes for 62 yards. He played 1 season, and he never played ever again. I don't know why. I don't know if the Colts were promised him more money. I have no idea. But maybe he thought with the Colts, maybe he would get a chance to play instead of maybe with the Giants. Because I mean that's possible too. But he decided to play for the Baltimore Colts, who were not very good, instead of the Giants. And he played 1 season, never played ever again. So the Giants drafted him at number 4 overall, and he never played for the Giants. Then we got Phillip Rivers in 2004, who never actually played for the Giants because the Giants drafted him and we traded him for Eli Manning, and we kind of know how that went. It was a win-win for both teams. I mean, the Chargers never went to a Super Bowl or anything, but Phillip Rivers did a phenomenal job for the San Diego Chargers. So, it worked out well for them. We got Eli Manning. We gave them a few other picks, too. Our first-round selection in 2005. I think it wasn't our second-round pick because we drafted Chris Snee. And so I think we gave him our first-round pick in 2004, our third-round pick in 2004. I think we gave him our first-round pick in 2005, and maybe like another pick I think we gave him. But it worked. It was a win-win for both teams. We got Eli, and we got those 2 Super Bowls. So, you can't complain about that. Then, of course, we took Andrew Thomas at pick number 4 in the 2020 draft, and he's going to be our, hopefully, left, knock on wood, hopefully our left tackle for the next 10 years. Pencil him in if he stays healthy. Keeps that ankle and foot on both of them. Hopefully working well. Keep him clean and injury-free and all. We got ourselves a left tackle. So, A great pick at number 4. A very good pick for Dave Gettleman. You got to give him a little congratulations on that one. Andrew Thomas did a phenomenal job last year, and he's still, once again, he had still had ankle and foot problems too. So then we go pick number 5. Okay, now this is an interesting one. This LT is the first one that we selected on this list here that went to the Hall of Fame. George Connor, pick number 5. All right, we drafted him pick at number 5 in the 1946 draft. He's the second one and the only other one in this list to go to the Hall of Fame. However, he didn't go to the Hall of Fame as a Giant. He never played for the Giant. He played 2 years for Holy Cross. Then he went into I think it was the Navy because it was World War II. He came out of college. The Giants drafted him, pick number 5, the 1946 NFL draft. All right. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame and he's in the Professional Football Hall of Fame, so he's really good. However, in 1946, he only played, I think, 2 years, I believe it was. So he didn't want to go to New York, so he wanted to be close. His father was ill, so he wanted to be close to his father. So that he went to Notre Dame. So 1946 and 1947, he went to Notre Dame. So he never played for the Giants. 1946-47, Notre Dame won the national championship. He was a phenomenal college player. Then for some reason, I don't know how it worked out or whatever, the Giants drafted him in 46. So you would think that they would have his drafting rights, but I guess not. So when he came out after 47, he went to the Bears in 1948. He played for the Bears from 1948 to 1955. He retired I think in spring training of 56. He had like a knee injury that he got in like 54, and I guess it was just bothering him, and it never got any better. And I guess, after 55, he just hung it up. But I mean, he's in the Professional Football Hall of Fame. He was one of the first stand-up linebackers. He was really, he could hit the crap out of you. He was really good. So he's in the Hall of Fame, the Professional Football Hall of Fame, but not as a Giant. Giants drafted him, but he wound up playing for the Bears. I don't know how it worked out, but I mean, you figure the Giants would have his drafting rights, but I guess not. The next time we picked number 5 overall was 1979 with Gary Jeter. He had a nice career. Pick number 5. Okay. I mean, he had a long career. 1977 to 82, he was with the Giants. 1983 to 88, he was with the Rams, and he finished up his career in 1989 with the Patriots. He was a defensive end from USC. One of the famous things he said was when he was playing with Lawrence Taylor in 1981, 1982. And he said, I went to the movies and I saw Superman 1. Then I went to the movies and I saw Superman 2. And now I'm playing with Superman 3, meaning Lawrence Taylor. I remember in videos him saying that. I mean, he was a nice defensive end. Nice, nothing super duper spectacular, but he had a nice long career, 1977 and 1989. So in that 1979 draft, the Giants drafted Gary Jeter, 5th overall. Then, of course, we had, this is like one of the worst ones of all, Cedric Jones, 1996. A bad pick. Picked him number 5 overall. This is one, it told the 90s, George Young, our general manager who started in 1979, who had a bunch of nice draft picks back then, toward the 90s, he just started getting a bunch of bad first-round picks, and this was one of them. He was from Oklahoma. He played for the Giants for 5 seasons. He was a reach. Giants needed somebody on the defensive front, or they wanted somebody to do defensive front. And pick number 5, we reached for him. It was not a very good pick at all. The last game he ever played was the Super Bowl when the Giants lost to the Ravens. We could have had Ray Lewis, the middle linebacker. He was on the board. Giants, could have used Ray Lewis, Hall of Fame linebacker, but no, we took Cedric Jones. He wound up his career. He had played 5 years for the Giants. He was picked number 5 overall, and he had 15 sacks. I mean, he played 5 seasons, and that was it. Then we picked George Frank. We picked 1941. He picked number 6 overall. He played from 41 to 47. He missed 3 seasons, 42, 43, and 44, due to World War II. He wound up his career 144 rushes, 506 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 27 receptions for 536 yards, almost 20 yards of reception, though. Very impressive. And he had 5 receiving TDs. So he had a nice little career with the Giants. Nothing super spectacular, but 1941, George Frank. was picked number 6 overall for the New York Giants. Then we have Steve Filipowicz, all right? He was picked number 6 overall in the 1943 NFL draft. He played 2 seasons from 1945 to 1946. Then he retired to become a coach at Mount St. Mary University. I mean, I think he was a coach, like the football coach, the baseball coach, and I don't know, it was the basketball coach or something like that. So he played 2 seasons. He retired to become a coach. So go figure. That's the way it was back then. Then in the 1944 draft, all right, we had pick number 6 overall. We had Billy Hillenbrand, 1944 draft. He was from Alabama. Giants picked him in the 1944 NFL draft. He played 3 seasons in the All-American Football Conference from 1946 to 48. He played for the Chicago Rockets and, once again, the Baltimore Colts. So, once again, the Giants drafted somebody, Billy Hillenbrand, all right, in the 1944 draft. And when he finally came out and actually played football, he played 3 seasons in the All-American Football Conference. So the Giants drafted him number 6, and he never played for the Giants. Is what it is. Then, of course, in 2019, we drafted Daniel Jones, right, pick number 6 overall. This will be his last season. Last chance. All the chips are in. See what he can do. I mean, somewhere along the line, you gotta pull the plug on him, or pay the man. So I mean, what we've been seeing, we're not paying him $30, $35, $40 million a year. Sign him no long-term to contract. So big year this year for Daniel Jones. Then picks number 7. We've had 3 of them so far. All right. Travis Tidwell, 1950, played 2 seasons for the Giants, 1950 and 1951. That was it. We picked him number 7 overall. He was a quarterback. His quarterback record was 3-0-1. So he's on record for 4 games, never lost a game. He completed 33 out of 76 passes for 493 yards. He had 5 touchdown passes, but 7 interceptions. So Travis Tidwell, pick number 7, 1950 draft. And played 2 seasons for the Giants, never played ever again. Then we had Phil Simms, who was picked number 7 from Morehead State in the 1979 NFL draft. Bill Walsh, if he made it to the 49ers, Bill Walsh was going to draft him. But Bill Walsh wound up somewhere along the line taking some guy, Joe Montana, I think it was. I think that's what his name was. I think like round number 3 or whatever. So we could have Joe Montana, but we took Phil Simms. But, I mean, all in all, you can't complain. I mean, Phil helped lead us to 2 Super Bowls. 1990, we started off 10-0, okay, with the help of the defense and Phil Simms and the offense, okay. But then Phil Simms got hurt, and Jeff Hostler came in and took us the rest of the way past the Bills in the 1990 season. But, I mean, he was a good quarterback. He was a good, tough quarterback, number 7, picked him number 7 overall. He had a long career with the Giants. He was the only team he ever played for was the New York Giants. His last season, he had like a career year, but the Giants just didn't want to re-sign him. I think they wanted to get younger. So that's when they started going like to Dave Brown and they just wanted to get younger. They didn't want to extend Phil Simms on a contract because he was getting up there in age and all that everything. So he had a career year, his final season, and he never played ever again. So is what it is. But overall, a very good pick for the Giants. Number 7, pick number 7 in 1979 NFL draft. And then finally, the last one we got on this list is Ike Hilliard, 1997, from the Florida Gators. We picked him. He had a nice career for the Giants. 1997 to 2004, he played for the Giants. Then he finished up his career from 2005 to 2008 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right. Actually, and we played against him in 2007 in the playoff game. The Giants went to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers, and we beat the Bucs and Ike Hilliard, and on our way to our 3rd Super Bowl championship. But he had a nice career. He played from 97 to 2008. His career stats, he had 546 receptions, 6,397 receiving yards, 35 touchdowns. One thing I remember about him is the guy had no regard for his body. The dude was just like, I mean, some guys, you make, as Deion Sanders says, business decisions. Ike Hilliard, nope. Ike Hilliard was a total disregard for his body. He got hurt a lot. He was not a huge guy, but he got hurt a lot. But man liked playing football. Tough dude. So overall, a pretty good pick, at number 7 for the Giants in the 1997 draft. And he's still coaching today. All right, he hasn't totally hung up. He's the Auburn Tigers wide receivers coach. So he's still, his playing career might be over, but his coaching career is not. But that's a list of the 21 guys that the Giants have that they picked in the NFL draft from picks number 1 to pick number 7. Now, as I said, the Giants will have 2 more in the upcoming draft, which is about a month away, unless they trade out of it. Now, if they trade out of it and they get some more picks, good for them. I'm all for that. But if not, the help that the Giants need, the picks number 5 and picks number 7 would go a long, long way if they could just, I know I'm asking a lot, if they could hit 2 home runs with these picks, they would go a long, long way to helping the Giants become relevant once again. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!